Hi everybody, it's Crystal. It has been a while since I've done a COVID update, and I felt like it's time. My first symptoms were April 1st of 2020, and it's now October 5th, so I'm 6 months into this, and I'm still dealing with some issues from it. And so I wanted to come on. A lot of things have been going on with COVID. We found out a couple days ago that the President of the United States has COVID-19, allegedly. And I realized for me, it's been 6 months and I'm still dealing with the effects. And today was hard because I literally just got over a stomach episode. And okay, so here's where we're at. I'm doing okay. In the scheme of the world, I'm doing okay. I'm working a lot, very busy. I still have antibodies. I've been doing the research study at UCLA where I donate my plasma and they test my antibodies over time. So as of my last donation, which was about a little over a month ago, I still have antibodies, which we hope is a good thing. We don't really know. Nobody knows. That's what they're researching. I'm doing the study at UCLA. I'll be donating. I've done 3 plasma donations so far. Each time I donate, it can help up to 3 patients, which is great. And I go back again in a couple weeks for another donation. And I guess what's still going on for me is that I still am struggling with my sense of smell. What it is now is there's certain smells I can kind of pick up. Things like vanilla. I get the sense of sanitizer because we're using hand sanitizer all the time. I can smell that when it's really the strong like alcohol smell. But other big smells all have one scent. So I'm trying to figure out how to describe that to people, but basically anytime there'd be a strong smell, when you walk into Starbucks and get hit with that coffee smell, or the smell of French fries, or just any of those like kind of bigger aromatic smells, all has the same smell. At first it was a kind of like clinical antiseptic smell. Every time, everything, even like cigarette smoke had that smell. Now it's shifted into a tired, musty smell, which is pretty gross. It does affect my taste. I can taste whether things are sweet, salty, sour, spicy, all of that. But flavor actually comes from your sense of smell. So my flavor palate doesn't exist, and so food is pretty so that's still something. I did have a CT scan. I had a telephone appointment with an ear, nose, and throat doctor. He sent me for a CT scan of my sinuses just to rule out that there wasn't anything else going on, and it came back clear, no inflammation or anything, which means that there's nothing else they know or can do about it. It's just kind of a waiting game, and hopefully it'll just be something that will return. As I've said in my previous videos, my very first symptoms were were gastrointestinal, so I had the worst stomach ache of my life. I'm still struggling with that. So at some point it was like once a week. Lately it's only been like every other week. And I just had one earlier, just this evening, and it's just kind of the worst pain. and I don't even know what to say about it. There's nothing that helps it. And I cannot get comfortable. I cannot find a position that makes it better. And it is just another thing that that they don't know. Nobody knows. So yeah, so I'm dealing with smell. I'm dealing with that. Because of the recent air quality issues with the fires, I had to go back on to my inhalers, which is super disappointing. But it's just what I had to do. It took me a while to figure out that that's what I needed, but I was just like, I was really not feeling well. This was a couple weeks ago. I came home from like doing some work and I was so wiped out. I was like on the couch, my head was hurt, like nothing, like my whole everything, I felt horrible, and I was feeling like, oh my god, I'm getting sick again. And something just said to me, you know what, just maybe try your inhaler. Maybe it has something to do with your breathing, because I couldn't really feel that, because everything felt bad. So I did my inhaler, and like literally within 5 minutes, it was like my headache went away, all this stuff. And I realized that I'd probably been oxygen deprived for quite a few days at that point. And so I unfortunately have had to be back on them on kind of a regular basis again. And that's been really, I mean, it helps, but it's hard to live that way when you're not used to needing help breathing. So yeah, this is 6 months, and I'm still dealing with these things. I did join a couple different COVID survivor groups on Facebook, and that has been a huge help to me. There's so many people on there that are suffering with, I mean, way worse things than what I'm dealing with, that were like me, had moderate to mild cases, not hospitalized, and then people that are now dealing with all kind. They're losing their hair, they're having heart episodes, they're having strokes. It's pretty scary, but what has been helpful is like my issues with smell. I now have met quite a few people on there that are having the same thing, where they all smell the same smell for everything, which is such a bizarre experience. And even though I'm smelling that musty, tired smell, there's people that are smelling worse things. So I guess I'm lucky in that sense. What else? The president has COVID. And it again just brings up like the stark disparity in experience, because he'll have round-the-clock care from physicians, the best medical advice in all the world, and most of us out here are flying solo. And what I mean by that is there is an issue with medical oversight of COVID survivors. And this is, I want to be very clear that I support doctors. I grew up in the medical profession because my mom was a medical administrator. I love doctors, and I don't think this is necessarily their fault, but I think there is a lack of attention for those of us that have survived COVID. There's not like any follow through. So I don't have a doctor looking after my care. I can't go in and see my primary care doctor anyways. And every time I reach out, I'm put through to a different doctor through a telephone appointment. There's a lot of feelings among us survivors that there's a lack of empathy, really. Like when we try to say this is something we're feeling, it's kind of put off like, oh, you can't blame everything on COVID, right? But then they'll have some new discovery. So one of the examples of that is cognitive fog. I for sure suffered with that pretty severely while I was super sick. And now it's very hard to tell what is what. I mean, I'm busy and all those things, but there are some memory things and some things that are a little off for me. And a lot of patients that were saying to their doctors, like, I feel like I'm in a fog, I don't feel good, my brain isn't, those kinds of things. A lot of doctors disregarded those statements and thought that we were just like complaining for the, I don't know why. They would think that would be a fun thing for us to do, but then they started to come out with the research showing that COVID does affect the brain, and that it's affecting brain cells. And then all of a sudden doctors are now going, oh, wait a second, these patients were not making this up. This is something that's real. This is something that's happening. And so I'm just, I'm trying to navigate this. I'm trying to stay really positive. As I'm talking to you, my stomach is sore from everything it just went through. And it's hard to not know anything about how long I'm going to be dealing with these things. And that's really the issue at this point, is like, what do we know? What can we do? Will I ever get my sense of smell back? Will I ever stop having these stomach aches? I don't know. What I do know is that as long as I am healthy and well, I will continue to donate plasma to contribute to research. I've also done there's like some research you can do just by filling out surveys for different universities and medical institutions. So I've been trying to do that. So for my loss of smell, there's a study being done on that, where I fill out a survey. Basically, it's pretty much like every couple weeks they send me something, and I just update them on where I'm at, which is not very far. So, I think that's it. I just want to say again, to please, please, please wear a mask, and to please take this very seriously. And I know that we're tired of all of the restrictions, and we're tired of being stuck at home. We're tired of not seeing the people we want to see, doing the things we want to do. But the pandemic isn't done, and many more people can still get sick and are going to get sick if we don't take care of ourselves. And that's scary. And I don't want people to go through this. I don't want people to have what I have and deal with it forever. I don't want people to die when it can be prevented. And so I just want to say, masking is a place to start. Distancing is a place to start, but it's not everything. Just because you are standing 6 feet away from somebody outside, that doesn't mean that there's zero chance of you getting this thing. And so we have to be careful, and we just have to be careful. And I encourage you to please, please, please take care of yourselves and your families. And, I hope that you don't get this, but if you do and you need support, please reach out to me and let me know. I'm happy to give you any and all the information I have from my experience. I'm sorry. My stomach's still hurting a lot. It's better, but it hurts. And so I feel like, it's what pushed me to do this video, though, to update everybody. So I love you. I love all of you. You guys have been amazing support. People still are checking on me, and I appreciate that, because it's still very much a part of my life. I need like a shirt for it, like I survived COVID, or I'm a COVID long hauler. That's what they call us. And I know in a lot of ways I'm very lucky, but I also know that it's not a fun thing to have in your body still. Or whatever or whatever it's done to my body to continue dealing with all that. It doesn't feel fair. So, be safe, wear a mask. You know what? The holidays are coming up, and it's going to be really tempting to want to be with your families and do everything that you've done before. We might need to make some sacrifices for the sake of everybody's safety. So that's my advice. I love you. I'm going to stop talking now. Okay, bye.